don't know which one we're going to be seeing, but it is going to be a TVP or a TVZ coming up next, and you know that I enjoy either one of those matchups.
Yeah. And right now we're in the lobby waiting for our players to be chosen. I can't help but feel that JJH feels good about that game. He feels strong. He feels confident. A 42-minute TVT and you win it, you got to be feeling good after
It's
that.
one of the best feelings in the world, folks. TVT is just one of those things where it's like, if you lose a 42-minute TVT, it's like one of the worst feelings ever. You're just like, I just threw away half my day and I lost the game because of battle cruisers. So, and then like if you win that game, you're just kind of like sitting there like having a cigarette or something, and just kind of like, wow, that was stressful, but I came out on top, so I feel good. You know, it's just it's a nice feeling for that JJH must be having, but he's gonna have his work cut out for him because we've got the next player coming up for Team MxG. He is Mahv. Mahv?
Let's check out Mahv. What is he playing? He is a Zerg, so I'm a happy guy.
Former Grandmaster too.
Yeah, actually, wow.
Actually, current Grandmaster. Wow.
3 times a sheet. We're gonna have a good game here, folks. What's the map? What do we have? We have Daybreak. Oh, big map. Good choice from MxG. It seems like they want to kill this Terran off on the best possible map, I think. And, you know, we see a lot of great long games on Daybreak. And, you know, from a Grandmaster level Zerg against what looked like to be a Grandmaster level Terran, we're going to have some great games right now.
I mean, JJH did prefer mech in TVT. Now, is that going to transfer over to his TVZ? If that's the case, Daybreak is not the best map in the pool for mech play against Zerg. It's not. There's a lot of things that go into it that make bio play a preferable play style. So that could go into a little bit into the decision to use a Zerg on this map or to use this map this early. But either way, we are going to have a Terran versus Zerg on the map, WCS Daybreak. This is ISTL Season 3. I am Vindicator, and with me is Ajax. If you are just joining us, you just missed a very long, very strong Terran versus Terran between these two teams. It is a 1-1 tie ball game. We are going up into game number 3 just now. It is going to be between these two very strong players from the looks of things, and we have our blue Zerg player coming up here just to start things off. He is from Team MxG. He is our blue Zerg player, and he is Mahv.
And down here in the bottom, winning a very long TVT, we have the very good, very standard, very durable JJH.
Durable is definitely a word that you can use within this context. He's got to have some stamina at this point. When I finish playing a Terran versus Terran like that, I'm done. I'm done for at least an hour. I'm going to go get something to eat. I'm going to go get a drink. I'm going to go take a long cold shower, especially if I lost. I'm going to do something else other than play another game of StarCraft following that. So JJH needs some stamina if he wants to put his team up 2-1 in this best-of-7 series. Now, he is going up against a Grandmaster Zerg on the North American ladder, and this is going to be on Daybreak. Now, I have to say that if you are one of these two players, I think Mahv's feeling a little bit better about this right now because this is his map choice, and Zergs like to play against Terran on this map.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Mahv is going to do the same thing as his clanmate did. Or, I'm sorry, am I thinking of the wrong person? I think I am.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you are. Because the last player that we saw was from Team Ripsies. He was the Zerg player that opened up, so...
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's a mistake. Well, hopefully we see a lot of creep this game. Definitely a map that you want creep spread all over the place, as in any matchup, really. You know, something that we didn't see from the last Zerg player. Hopefully we see more, you know, towards that creep spread kind of gameplay.
I mean, that kind of opening for that Juro went for in that first game, where he went for a very heavy Hellion opening, denying the third. That's a little bit harder to do on this map because of the very long rush distances. I mean, it takes a longer time for that Banshee to actually get out on the field. And are we going to be seeing a triple hatch before pull? we're going to be seeing a triple hatch before pull. It's the second time I've seen this on Daybreak, and there it goes. Okay, so we are not going to be having the same sort of game we saw last time. I didn't get to see exactly how our Terran player opened. It does look like, just from the looks of things, this is actually a command center first build. So this is going to be a CC first, followed up by a single barrack. So this is actually just going to be a slight variation from the sort of build that Juro did in the last game. This is going to lead into some Hellion play from here, but he is going for that command center, just command center first, just for that economic opening that he needs to compete, especially knowing that his opponent now is going for this triple hatch before pull build.
Yeah, but again, it's safe because he saw that JJH was going for that command center first. He realizes he can't put any pressure on him, really. Safe for a while. He's going to have his cooldown with plenty of time, getting that faster gas so he can get speed out to make sure that he doesn't have any problems with really any early aggression that JJH can put at him.
Look at what JJH did here. He went for that command center first, but Mahv's drone was just blocking it. So rather than, try to chase the drone away and get that good position, he just built this command center kind of out of that optimal position and started morphing it into a planetary before he even moves it. So he really wants to make sure that he doesn't lose any time on that orbital before he actually starts to start really mining from that expansion. So it's kind of a little tidbit here for if you're going to be going for that command center first build as a Terran player. I know they've been gaining a lot more popularity lately. Prior to the Queen change, you almost never saw command center first against Zerg. But lately, you've been, especially with players like Marine King, who seem to favor it a lot in the Terran versus Zerg matchup. It's something that we've been seeing a lot more of lately.
And something that JJH hasn't seen yet is his opponent's third base. It doesn't look like that SCV is going it is going to pass into it, so he is eventually going to see it, but I think that he should have seen it a little bit sooner, so he could have reacted a little bit better. But with the Reactor Hellion, I think that's the best possible opening. And it looks like he's going to go straight into Banshees after that, which is great on this map, considering how long the distances are between the third and the natural. Again, no early creep spread from this Zerg, which is a little disappointing, especially on this map where you absolutely need to connect the bases with creep. He's just larva injecting. I don't think, he's not spending the larva. He doesn't have enough money to spend the larva, which I think is going to come back to bite him a little bit, because I think he could have had his creep spread at least to his third by now, which is all important.
Well, one thing he is doing, though, Ajax, is that he is not doing something that I see a lot of Zergs do when they go for this triple hatch before pull build, especially Symbol. Symbol does this a lot when he goes for this build. He completely neglects speed. He just relies on queens, he just relies on spines, he doesn't get Zergling's speed out, and that actually allows Hellions to just remain super cost-effective in the early game. So Mahv went immediately for Zergling's speed. He stopped gas mining just for a little bit, just until right now, where he actually took 3 additional gas geysers at once. So these Zerglings now have speed that are going to make them a lot more cost-effective at actually holding off these Hellions. And rather than letting his opponent even get into the third base with those Hellions, he immediately goes for an attack, which is going to force all those Hellions back and give him the time that he needs to drop down a Roach Warren and additional Zerglings. He's getting now his evolution chambers down here at his natural expansion. They are located in a good spot, which is now going to kind of funnel JJH's Hellions into a predictable pattern.
And right now, JJH not being too active with his Hellions, just kind of sitting there at the watchtower, when I think he could have done a lot of economical damage at the third. Not taking advantage of, again, something that is actually really open right now. I'm really surprised he's not doing that. But however, he does have a Banshee going into the main base right now, which is pretty naked. One spore is just now going down, but it looks like this Banshee is going to be able to clean up 5, maybe 6 drones.
I mean, that Banshee does have Cloak, Ajax. So this Banshee is going to be able to do a lot of damage to these drones. And actually, this Banshee is funneling all the drones down here into the natural. So these Hellions are actually getting into position, but good surround on those Zerglings and those drones. But how many drones are actually going to be taken out by those Hellions? Those Hellions are frying a good number of them, and it's so hard to actually just count just based with your just naked eye on how many drones actually went down there. So I'm actually going to open up the tab, and 18 workers were actually eliminated by that Hellion Banshee run by, but at the cost of a good number of Hellions. But still, now 44 SCVs out on the field versus only 37 drones. So really good attack from JJH. I like what he did with that Banshee. He forced all those drones down into the natural and then immediately ran in there with all of those Hellions. That's causing a lot of economic damage to his opponent.
And he just got his third and going into mech again. So we got a mech player here, guys. Was very good about it last game. I expect no less this game. And that Banshee just keeping all those drones out of the main, and might even get this queen, but no, it looks like that Spore is going to go down with enough time. Where's the queen going? Ah! And he does get the queen, and gets away with the Banshee too. Now has the lair, is able to get Overseer, so it looks like he's going to be a little bit better to defend against these, but not enough queens out. Need more queens.
One thing
Spawn additional queens.
One thing I love to see from Terran mech players is oftentimes it's so easy for you to neglect the ability to multitask when you play Terran, or when you play mech Terran. Because it's something bio players have to have. You have to have good multitasking when you play bio. It's something that a lot of Terran players, when they play mech, kind of neglect a little bit. But JJH has proven in both games that he has not neglected any of his multitasking. He is so on point with those Banshees, just doing a ton of economic damage to his high-level Zerg opponent, and behind this, he is not missing a beat on his macro. He's taking a third base. He is dropping down an armory at this point. He is going into mech from here. He's up to 4 factories at this point, so just such good multitasking out here for our mech player.
And he has 3 Banshees and 7 Hellions out. 4 Hellions are down into third of his opponent's base, but we do have a bunch of Roaches coming in. These Banshees are going to be able to clean him up, but it just doesn't look like he's going to be able to put in much pressure with, especially with all these supply depots just blowing off everything. These Roaches just going down for almost nothing. And Mahv's got to be feeling it right now. He's got to be getting sweat on his brow right now with all these things going wrong for him.
More drones are just getting roasted while you're talking about that, Ajax. Like these Hellions for JJH are just so active out of the map, just causing so much damage. Look at the drone count. We are at 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes into this game. Our Zerg player has 40 drones. Altogether, 37 drones have been killed so far by the combination of these Hellions and Banshees. This is just such a crippling blow by JJH. He's just doing so well with this Hellion Banshee opening, and really completely just dominating the 3-hatch before pool build that Mahv went for. He isn't able to take any sort of benefit from that early game greed, and now he's up to 67 supply versus the 127 supply, 129 supply of now going to be Thors, Banshees, Hellions, and Siege Tanks out on the field for JJH. This timing attack, when it hits, is going to be so powerful.
Yeah, I think we're almost reaching that point of no return right now. With all that economical damage early on, and with just the heavy mech switching to Thors, he's just completely countering what Mahv's doing right now. And Mahv just doesn't have an answer. He doesn't have the money to deal with it. And with these 4 Banshees still alive, he's going to get more drones, prevent more mining, and just put Mahv further behind in this game.
At this point, I don't even think Mahv has enough queens to actually directly compete with these Banshee numbers. Now, he was able to target down the 1 red Banshee, wasn't able to get the transfusion off in time, so 2 additional queens are actually going to go down, and now there's only Spore Crawlers in the base to actually deal with it. There are 5 Mutalisks in production, but how many drones are going to go down before these Mutalisks actually even come out onto the field? There is the first Mutalisk. These Banshees are finally going to die after getting so many kills on our Zerg player's base. We did have some Hellions that were dropped up into the main base also, so look at the multitasking from JJH. I just cannot give this guy enough praise for how good his multitasking has been in this game. He's just staying so active with his Banshees and his Hellions. He's doing so much economic damage to his opponent. And those Banshees actually got away, Ajax. They got away with barely any hit points, but they did get away.
And now, all JJH really has to do is just sit and get that 200 army and push. I think he's at that point where he realizes it too, and Mahv definitely realizes it. He's like, oh crap, I gotta do something to get back in this game. Income-wise, JJH is all over it. He's just completely demolishing his opponent's income, and has defenses everywhere. So Mahv really can't put any pressure, and also can't take another base, because if he takes another base, it's going to be too open to the Banshee Hellions that he's been dealing with.
Look, Ajax. When you see this army as a Zerg player, look at this army: 4 Thors, 4 Siege Tanks, 3 Banshees, and 10 Hellions. You need Broodlords for that, man. You need Broodlords or a very, very heavy Roach count. You cannot fight this army straight up, especially not with Mutalisks. with Roach Mutalisk. You cannot fight this army head straight up if you are the Zerg player in this matchup. There are 4 additional Thors coming out on the field right now. JJH is making Thors 4 at a time. When this push comes, it's going to come with at least, he's already up to 6 Thors. When this push comes, it's going to be 10 Thors. How do you fight 10 Thors when you are at 115 supply with very little economy? We have more drones being roasted by these Blue Flame Hellions. Just so much economic damage done by our Terran player. This push is going to be devastating. If he holds this push, it will be the most miraculous hold I have ever seen in StarCraft 2. Now, I can't count out a Zerg player of this caliber just yet, but it's a simple matter of math, man. You look at this count. This is 10 Thors. 10 Thors with +2 attack. How do you fight 10 Thors with +2 attack as a Zerg player when you only have 142 supply? It is so difficult to do. But here comes the push finally. The push is actually on the way. We have a Raven also in the army with enough energy for 2-point defense drones as well. This is going to be such a difficult push to hold. And here it comes. We have the March of Death coming on the line for our Terran player, JJH. He's at 199 supply to 155 supply of Mahv. Can Mahv hold this?
I don't think so. I think this is pretty much going to be the end for Mahv. Just suffered too much early game, too indecisive with those roaches. Just couldn't bring it back, and with so many Thors, oh my god, the Mutas just got shredded. It's just too much, I think, and especially with like those 2 tanks. Just 2 tanks can do enough damage to the point where Thors can just one-shot.
That's not even including the the Banshees, Ajax. Look at the split on the Thors too. Even the positioning on these Thors is good, allowing the tanks to get maximum firing coverage on all of those roaches. All the roaches are going to go down, and there is the GG. JJH just making his way to a 2-1 victory for his team. He is just playing so well for Team Ripseeds right now.
Playing very well. That was a very good example of mech again in a TVZ standpoint. Shows us mech TVT and then turns around and shows us mech TVZ. Very strong mech player here, guys. Very refreshing to see.
You know what though? Like after watching those 2 games, if I am Team MxG right now, I have one option. I'm putting out a Protoss. You see that? You see just how strong that mech TVZ was? That looked like MVP. If I didn't know any better, I would have said that was MVP playing that. He was so active with his Hellions. His multitasking was so good. He never missed a beat with his macro at his main base. That looked so much like the mech that I've seen out of MVP before, clearly showing who JJH models his Terran play after. That is such a scary thing to see if I am Team MxG right now and I am putting out a Protoss in that next game, because I don't want to give my opponent another chance to kill me with mech. I don't want to deal with it. So I'd be very surprised if we don't see a Protoss in the next game. But even then, I mean, with mechanics that solid, I don't know if just a simple switch for a race is going to be enough. So MxG really has their work cut out for him, because JJH is playing so well right now.
He is. He absolutely is. And it's so refreshing to see, you know, you can tell that he's just been watching the professional levels play. Because that Banshee Hellion that's been so popular in the professional level is exactly what he's doing. I mean, he's copying it almost verbatim. He's playing it so well too. It's you can only imagine how much studying these players put into it, into playing this game, and how much they actually, you know, spend analyzing the play of, you know, professionals and just critiquing it and making it their own. And he's just doing so well, and he did it so well these past 2 games, and I hope he does it this 3rd game as well.
You know, Ajax, we were talking before JJH even got onto the field about how he's better than his rank, right? We saw his rank. Yeah. He was like a rank 43 Masters player. We were looking at his win ratio, and we were like, no. His win ratio and the fact that his team's putting him out right now, like, that rank is deceptive. And I think we have 2 pretty solid games that are evidence of that.